So the Auroville Project we developed together over the course of 2.5 years, starting in 2015. It's about the intentional community Auroville in southeast India that was founded in 1968 by Mira Alfasa, a Tunisian French woman who moved to India in the 20s and is the spiritual leader or founder of the community. It's based on the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, who was a very important national freedom fighter in India. And the idea of Auroville is that it should be a model city, a city where one could think only about the future and the past and the future would meet. And it should house 50,000 people that would live together collectively without private property, without any rules, hierarchies or religion.
Our idea was to see what happened to the values that the mother, as Mira Alfasa was referred to, put down in 1968, these ideals of kind of like community life and spirituality and so on. How does it develop within the 50 years? Because most of the intentional communities that were created in the 1960s out of the hippie spirit, they never survived. Like Drop City, for example, in California or Colorado, just disappeared. But Auroville actually survived against all odds, and they have even a law in the Indian constitution that guarantees them an autonomous status and kind of like also guarantees them that they will be there forever. So they are growing. They have now 4,500 inhabitants as opposed to 500 in the beginning. But of course, never the required 50,000 like the mother thought. And they are living a life that is completely contradictory to the Indian society. Auroville is very clean. It's mostly Europeans and Americans, Westerners. So the people from the global north are kind of like surrounded by the people from the global south. They live in beautiful houses, in this kind of like oasis in the green belt that they built. They planted 1 million trees or more to reforest the area that was a barren land, that was a desert. And now there's, in a way, there's still also conflict about how should the teachings of the mother be interpreted. On the one hand, there are those who say to build a city with 50,000 is not really a contemporary issue anymore. What we need is teachings about ecology, about sustainability. How can we live in a clean world? Others say that the way they use the land is completely unsustainable because 4,000 people are using as much land as maybe in the rest of India 500,000 people. So there are these contradictory opinions. There is a lot of discussion but never fighting. And within those contradictions, the people live and grow and evolve and continue and develop, and the community grows. So it will be very interesting to see how they evolve in the next 50 years.
Actually, today it's about half of the inhabitants are Indian. So it's half Indian and half international community. But so our exhibition brings together different materials that we collected over these 2 years. We made interviews with people who live there since the beginning and also who have joined more recently. So we have made several videos. We have made photo series that actually compare photographs from the Auroville archives that are mostly documenting, for example, the beginnings of the architectural experiments and buildings constructed in the early days and how these look today and how Auroville looks today. And archive materials that we collected, because since the beginning they have produced amazing materials to actually promote the community overseas and around the world. We have writings of the mother and Sri Aurobindo. We have brought plants and seeds back where we have grown little plants that are also a living archive. One film is actually made from archive materials that, as they have also made film footage about themselves and using also documentary material from films produced about Auroville and our own material shot in the Auroville archives. What else? We made sculptures. We also invited friends and former students to contribute artworks to the exhibition, and we have this geodesic structure that's actually a quote from, of course, a geodesic dome that was developed by Buckminster Fuller, and one of the disciples who came to Auroville in the very early beginnings, Johnny, had worked on and further developed, and also is a kind of reminder of the main center of the town, which is the Matra Mandir. It's the spiritual center, the meditation center of Auroville.
The most important part of the exhibition is, in a way, the film that is called What is Auroville, because you really hear the people from Auroville talk about what their opinion is, how the community has grown and evolved, and how they also failed. And there are very different opinions, so I think the sculpture, the photos, the artifacts, they all have a kind of an aura from the space itself, from where it comes from, but the real information is in the film, and I really recommend people to spend 40 minutes in this film to see how life in Auroville is organized.